Hey guys, I'm Madison Mary and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a brand new weekly reading vlog for you guys. So it is a Wednesday. If you guys can't tell, I'm actually in New York again, which is where I will be living for the next year at least. But headed back to the Hamptons today later on when my dad gets back. But I have had time today to start Harrow the Ninth, which is the sequel to Gideon the Ninth, which I gave 3 stars last year. I didn't love it because it kind of put me in a slump because of how dense it was, but I was intrigued with how it went that I wanted to read the sequel, so I requested it from Tor and they sent it to me, so I'm just starting it now. I'm around 30 pages in and I just want to give you guys, this is like a massive book. Like how many pages is this? It's like 500 pages, which is a lot because it's like very small writing. But the reason why I wanted to give you guys a quick little update right now is because I read the prologue for this and the prologue is crazy. Like I don't even know how to even talk to you guys about the prologue because I read it and I sat there and I was like, the F? Like what did I just read? Which is very typical of Tamsin. She did that in Gideon the Ninth and she's just done it again now. And what's interesting is the prologue is actually technically the epilogue. So it takes place 16 months after the book starts. So you're kind of reading how the book ends and then going back in time. What I have found interesting is the fact that I'm still in chapter 1 and it's written in second person. So you are Harrow, so it's like you are like this and you do that. And I've never read a book in this way before. I know that the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin does this, and that's the reason why I've been so hesitant to read it, is because I don't know how I'm going to feel about reading a book that has second person. But now I have to read Harrow and it is second person, so that's kind of weird, and so I don't know exactly how I'm going to find it, but I'm intrigued. Already it started off as typical of Tamsin with a lot of sarcasm and snark and just like crazy grossness, so I'm excited to see how it keeps on going. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as I read. I have a couple books I'm reading this week, hopefully. We'll see how long it takes me to read Harrow. I'm really hoping it doesn't take me more than like 4 or 5 days, but we'll see. Anyway, that's all for now. Bye. It's been a hot minute. It is currently the 26th of July. Yes. Wednesday is basically when I started this and it took me until today to read it. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days, not including Thursday because I did not read it all then. So 4 days to read this book, which actually isn't that bad, but it felt like it was going a lot longer because it wasn't until yesterday and today, Saturday, Sunday, that I like really managed to push through like a good chunk of the book. So I just wanted to give you guys my overall update because it's hard to update while reading a sequel in a vlog because you don't want to give anything away from the first book in regards to just like your confusion into the plot of the second book. So I'm not going to say much on that. So like I said earlier, there are second person chapters and third person chapters, and then also at the end first person chapters. It all has grand significance in the end of things, and so I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars because of the fact that a certain plot device was used and invoked in the third person POV and also invoked in the second person POV that I am not a fan of. And so it's just something that I don't like being used, and it made me very frustrated throughout the book, and it was something that I had an inkling of, and you know, nothing that was like revealed until the very end, but I don't like it. But I will say that like, I don't know what it is about her writing, but you really become attached to these characters without even realizing it. Like I absolutely with my whole heart adore Harrow, and it was quite sad because throughout this whole thing you just pity her, and that sucks. I can say that after reading this book that Tamsin has such a unique writing style, and it is honestly phenomenal in my own opinion because the way that she writes is unlike anything else I've ever read. And even though her worlds are very complex and intricate, and it can take a long time to really understand what's going on, which can be a downfall, but when you look at it as an adult high sci-fi fantasy, science fiction fantasy, it makes sense. It's definitely of a higher caliber than I am normally used to reading because it requires a lot of attention to detail as you're reading it to understand how everything works, and a lot of attention to understand how the world functions and the way that the different plot lines are coming in. Because even though it's a sci-fi, there are a lot of aspects of it that have a deeply rooted mystery element. And because of this mystery element and your inability to really trust anyone, it makes it all the more complex and intricate, and it constantly is making you so engaged in the story because you're wondering like what's gonna happen, like is this happening, is this happening, why is this happening? And that can get super frustrating. Like there are times in this book where I was just like, please just tell me already. Like I will admit there are a lot of times I got very frustrated, but I still really enjoyed it. And I guess it's the fact that Tamsinmere really is not afraid to pull every single punch in the book, and I appreciate that. And I'm definitely very intrigued to see how the third book in this, I think it's a trilogy, is going to go. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to grab it, but you see that like orange in the corner there? So that is Felix Ever After by ɪɪsᴛᴏᴅᴅ. I'm starting that tomorrow. Very excited. I'm actually currently, oh, my screen went blank, but I'm watching the Saga of Tanya the Evil right now on Crunchyroll. Here we go. Expected to be 4+ stars, and yeah, catch you guys up in the morning. Goodbye. Hey, so I can't talk too loudly because, well, I look like this because it's like 1 something in the morning, but I had editing to do today, but I've also been reading Felix Ever After, which is right here. I literally I have like nothing left of it to read. I'm so sorry. I feel like this is such a bad angle, and so I keep looking in the viewfinder. But no, so I am 245 pages in today, and it is honestly so good. And like, just there are so many topics that are talked about in this, especially just like, I feel like I've never read a book that has dealt so much with just gender identity and what it means to kind of not know who you are. And I just think that there is such a way that ɪɪsᴛᴏᴅᴅ has written this that has just so much impact, and it's, you know, it's so amazingly written, and there are so many great just paragraphs in here. I actually went ahead and I used some tabs, so I have 3 yellow and 3 orange tabs in. But you are also following this love story that Felix is having with a certain person, but Felix doesn't want this person to know like that they are talking over a phone. So Felix doesn't want this person to know who they are because he's worried that even though this person knows that he's a male, this person doesn't know he's a trans male, and so like how that also like affects different things. And you know, Felix is also dealing with the fact that there's this person who's trolling him and being blatantly transphobic and like messaging him on Instagram and being all like, oh, like, why are you pretending to be a boy? Like, you're not really a boy, like you're a girl, like it's like you're a fraud, blah blah blah. There's also like the social commentary on the fact that, you know, he's never really dealt with people so blatantly transphobic before, because he does live, at least in an area, he lives in Brooklyn, but you know, people are a bit more accepting than other parts of the country or of the world. It's just really interesting, and I definitely understand why so many people have rated this book 5 stars, because I can definitely understand that. But anyway, oh my god, my battery's dying. Okay, bye. Okay, so it's like the next day. It took me a while to get like a new battery in, so you can't like see my tears anymore, but oh my god, this book is, this very last quarter is getting really emotional and really heavy, and there's a lot going through my feels. This book, I 100% understand why so many people love it and have given it 5 stars, because I literally cannot foresee anything else happening that would make me not give it a 5 stars. But yeah, just so you know, as you're reading this, it will get to a point where it feels like your chest is literally constricting and the tears will well up and you'll just, yeah. So just thought I'd give you guys a little positive tidbit. Be back later.
1 hour later.
I am about to go make myself dinner, but I just finished Felix Ever After. I wanted to let you guys know that, yes, It is in fact a 5 stars. If you have not picked this up, I don't know what you're doing with your life, because you should pick this book up because it is amazing. And you know, there were times I cried and stuff and I was like, well, good thing I'm not wearing makeup for once when I'm like reading these books, because then it would be like my Beartown vlog where I'm literally sitting in front of the camera looking like a puffy makeup mess. So, this is so weird. I'm like gonna give you guys like a whole social commentary now. It's funny because I feel like after reading this book, it kind of instills this whole idea of self-love and kind of self-acceptance and exploring who you are and kind of coming to terms with who you are, and the whole idea of, you know, Felix feels like he's unlovable. He feels like he's undeserving of what people feel for him, and there are times where he says he goes after love that is unattainable rather than going after love that could be real, because real love is scary because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you have to lose by going after real love, whereas when you go after unattainable love, you know kind of what that entails. And I just found it so interesting. I just think that it's really interesting because I think I mentioned last night that Felix was questioning his identity and that whole aspect of it, and how that, like, you know, comes to fruition and things. And do you know, once again, a lot of transphobia in this book, so do be aware of that if that is a trigger for you. It's quite intense and really mean at times. Anyway, I'm rambling. Okay, goodbye. Okay, so I did decide to start You Should See Me in a Crown. This is what it looks like. It actually has, you probably can't see it, like embossing on it here that says the title. But I didn't realize that this was set in Indiana. And if you guys didn't know, I completed my graduate degree at Indiana University, and this is about a girl who lives in Indiana and she's trying to get a scholarship to university because she got into her mother's alma mater, but she got rejected for the scholarship she was applying for, so she doesn't know how she's going to pay for college now, because her little brother has sickle cell anemia and her mum had it and passed away. She talks about how IU was her backup school, but it's so far away from where they live that she feels like she can come back if her brother needs her. And then I'm only on chapter 4, which is page 25, and she's talking, sorry, give me a sec. I'm on chapter 4 and they're talking about how spring in Indiana is so unpredictable, and she's like, so it goes, spring in Indiana is an unpredictable thing. You're just as likely to get caught in an aggressive snowstorm as you are to need to strip down to a tank top and booty shorts because it's too hot to wear anything else. And then sometimes, on days like today, you'll start the day with a cloudless sky, and by the time you hop off your bike outside your part-time job, you're drenched to the bone from a surprise thunderstorm. That is literally so true. I honestly think I'm gonna have like so much fun just reading this because it's set in Indiana. Like, I read books that are set in New York, and like that's chill because, like, you know, I do live in New York too, but you know, I spent 4 years of my life in Indiana, and like it's such a big part of like how I grew as a person that it's just really fun to read a book that's also set there because I get it. So I don't know, yeah, but it's interesting so far. So like I said, only 25 pages in, but we'll see. Bye. Hey, so I am currently around halfway through the book. Except the lighting's a bit weird because I'm walking through like 7 different lightings. Let's see how my camera adapts. Yeah, so I've been just doing a couple things today. It's been an okay day, if I'm gonna be honest, you know. Okay is fine, it's not great, but okay. So I'm around, yeah, I'm like almost halfway through the book right now, as you can see. I've had a couple of tabs, definitely not as tab worthy as Felix Ever After was, but still really good. I'm interested to see how, so we have like a mean girl, okay, and she's on the Pom Squad, and her name's Rachel Collins, and she kind of goes after Liz because they've always been competing since they were kids, and Liz always wins, and so she's just a complete and utter bitch to her. I just don't really get it. Like, yeah, I get that they compete, but she is just so mean that I feel like there needs to be more to it. Like, it doesn't seem like, I don't know, I feel like at this point, she's just in there for girl hate, like to hate another people, and I just don't like that right now. There's a part in here where it flashes back to her freshman year where someone like went and touched her hair. She just had like a really weird experience, like a really, not weird, but like a bad experience, and like ever since then she doesn't like dress as bright colors. She now wears her hair like completely like slicked back into a bun, and it was also on that same day that her best friend, Jackson, I think his name is, ended up just like ignoring her and like doesn't talk to her anymore, and now they're starting to talk to each other again at senior year, and like I feel like there was definitely miscommunication for why they stopped being friends. I definitely love the sapphic romance that's beginning to come between Liz and Mac. Mac is our female who's brand new to the school. She's a drummer for the band, and you know, Liz plays first clarinet, and it's really cute in that whole sense. They bond over like the same bands, and Liz is out to her family and her best friends, but not out like to the school. It is rural Indiana where this is, and yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to keep on going. There's a lot of potential to this book, but I feel like I'm interested to see what the conflict is going to be in this. I don't know if I mentioned this last night, but her mum died of sickle cell anemia, and her younger brother has sickle cell, and so that's like a big part of this too. And like she also has a lot of anxiety, and so anxiety is a huge part of this book. Like she has ways that she kind of deals with it, and like, you know, tapping and, you know, feeling her pulse and all these different things. And that's also like, I really like that representation, because mine was never this constant for so long as like it is for Liz in this novel. But from my own experience and from like friends, I think it's really good representation. It's 6:47 p.m. now on Wednesday night. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Goodbye. Hey, so I just finished, you should see me in a crown. Oh my god, I like just like space there for a second. And I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I do want to say, you know, so far in this vlog I gave Harrow 4 stars, Felix 5 stars, and then this 4 stars. And I do just want to quickly like talk about like how my rating system works. And so, you know, 1 to 5 stars as per normal, and I feel like I used to give out a lot of 5 stars, and so I've recently kind of been a bit more self-conscious about like what I'm giving 5 stars to, because when it comes to the end of the year, when I'm like, what are my top reads of 2020, I'm always like, oh my god, I gave like 85 stars out of the 100 books I read. So my 5 stars, I feel like I just saw, I forget whose vlog I was just watching, but they did it really like eloquently, and we're talking about how when you finish a book and you right away know it's a 5-star read, that's a 5-star read. If you finish a book and you're not sure and it takes you a while to really think about it, it's probably not a 5-star read, unless you give it like a 4.5 and then like 3 weeks later you're still thinking about it, then you're like, I'm gonna round up to a 5-star, because that has definitely happened. But yeah, no, so I just finished it, and I just think it's so much different compared to some of the other queer books that I've been reading lately. Not only just because this is sapphic and all of the ones that I've been reading lately are I also think that this one a lot more it did focus on her romance, Liz's romance with Mac, but at the same time it really focuses on just Liz's journey within herself and her self-acceptance, because, you know, she is pushing herself super hard because she doesn't get accepted for the scholarship, and she doesn't want her grandparents to like give up their house, and then her younger brother has like sickle cell, and then she's doing all these different things, and she's got a lot riding on her plate and everything getting to her. And as I mentioned earlier, like her anxiety, like there's just so much more depth to this than I was expecting. I thought this was definitely going to be a lot more of a fluffier read, and instead it really delves into a lot of deeper topics, and I thought it was so well done. And I liked how everything was really wrapped up and there were no loose ends. I know I did mention earlier the character Rachel Collins, and how she was like this mean girl and I didn't really understand why she was a mean girl and blah blah blah. Yeah, I take that all back. So it turns out she's just racist. You know, you don't really need much more of a backstory than that. So, you know, another 2 chapters after I left off, I was like, oh yeah, she was just a horrible person. Albeit like she was a bit extreme with like some of the things she was doing, but you know, it's a book. If you guys didn't know, I don't think I mentioned at the beginning of this, but this was a queer reading vlog. Like I said, Harrow from Harrow the Ninth, hella lesbian. Felix from Felix Ever After is gay but trans, and then we have this one, which we have Liz Lately, and she is black and lesbian. So, ooh, we got double lesbians in this vlog. Very nice. Anyway, I just opened this because I forgot I was doing this vlog, so I'm gonna open this for you guys now. It's a book in here that I'm super excited about that I got from, I'm really excited again, Sourcebooks Casablanca, and it is Mistletoe and Mr. Right by my one and only Sarah Morgan Thaler. If you guys didn't know, I read the first book in this series a couple months ago, and this is the sequel coming out now, and then the third book, they're all companion books, this is like a romance series. The third one comes out like at the beginning of next year. Like she is like churning these out like no other. Like all three of them have covers and everything. So the first one was the tourist attraction. And so this follows Lana from the first book, which is our main character, female in the first book's best friend. And I'm so excited for this. So Lana is like a rich socialite, and no, actually I can't say anything because I'm gonna ruin things from book one. If you haven't read book one, you actually can't read this one. So it is a companion, but it'd be weird going into this not having read book one because it gives a lot more to Lana's story. And then I have another one from Sourcebooks, but this is _Fire. So I'm gonna open this one too. Oh, I'm so happy I got Mistletoe and Mr. Right. Like, I'm gonna cry. Such a great thing. Ugh. If you guys have not checked out The Tourist Attraction, please do. Another one of my like favorite books of 2020. Oh my god. Ah! Okay, so first one is Bedazzled by Ryan LaSala. I read Reverie and I actually really enjoyed it. I know some people didn't because it was written in a way that reminded me of, shoot, there was a certain video game or like anime that it reminded me of, and like I was able to like really vibe with it because of that. But I know some other people, oh yeah, Persona 5. It reminded me of Persona 5. And so I get why some people are confused by that because the whole way the magic system worked was kind of weird. So we follow Raffi, and he's taking place in this year's biggest cosplay competition because he could get a sponsorship and then get into art school, but the problem is that his ex-boyfriend Luca is his main competition. Or they're forced to partner together for his most ambitious build yet. So excited. I'm so excited. I loved Reverie, like I just said, but some people didn't love it. But I'm so excited for this because he has like some really hilarious, like, just the way that he writes I really mesh with, so I'm stoked for this. Oh, a queer book for my queer vlog. This comes out January 5th. It takes me a second to always read the dates because Australia does the dates differently. The other book we have, oh, there's just one more in here, and it is, oh yeah. So we follow Mira, and her layover ends up getting cancelled, so she's stuck. Harper, who is her seatmate for like that first flight over, comes to rescue and says that like her and 3 of her friends are renting a car and they can drop her off on their way home. And so she ends up saying yes, which like, why? As the trip begins, Mira discovers that her fellow travelers aren't friends like she thought, and every one of them seems to be hiding something dangerous. This does not sound great. How does not sound great? This comes out on October 6th. Okay, so that is it for this queer reading vlog. One arc, 2 books that are already out, but by the time I think this vlog goes out, yeah, looking at my calendar, Harrow will have just come out and this vlog comes out, which thank God, because I will need some people to talk to about that book because just so many thoughts in my head. I've actually just made my dad start getting the notes so that I can actually have someone to talk to about, because like, just the way that like Tamsin writes, there's just so much brain in it. Anyway, I'm going on. That is it for this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like button down below. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, thanks a bunch, guys. Bye!